Out of all the engines on the island of Sodor, there is no engine that is more friendly or hard-working than Neville, the new engine. Neville is new to the island, but he has a heart of gold to anyone in particular. He gets the job done no matter what happens. And every engine, steamer or diesel alike, respects him. But I'm sorry to say, the same can't be said for Dennis. Dennis is a new diesel engine who arrived on the island of Sodor. He was assigned to work in the yards, but as you can see, you may find the other engines doing his work for him. And only then, Dennis never gives an open eye. One day, Sir Topham Hatt had a special for Neville. Neville, you are to work in the yards with Dennis until I can find other work for you. Yes, sir, Neville puffed happily. He was excited to meet Dennis and work with him. Just then, Diesel oiled in. I heard you'll be working with Dennis, huh? He sneered. Yes, I will, Neville said innocently. From what I heard, Diesel said slyly, he's a very hard-working engine and loves to do a lot of work around the yards. I'm sure you'll find him a valuable asset to this railway, of course, even for a diesel. Neville smiled and puffed happily away. Diesel smirked. He knew Dennis was lazy, but the thought of getting another Steamy in trouble was just as easy. When Neville puffed into the yards, it looked as if it was in a mess. Funny, he thought. Engines wouldn't leave this yard like the way it is here. When he arrived at the yards, he couldn't see Dennis anywhere. His eyes drifted right, and there was Dennis resting comfortably in his shed. Hello there, Neville whistled loudly. This was enough to earn Dennis a wakening eye. I'm sorry, what? What would you say? He yawned more. I said, hello there, Neville called out. You're Dennis, I'm assuming. Pleasure to meet ya. Well, I'm here to help you shunt in the yard. Thank you, and good night, Dennis sighed. Neville was so eager to work, he didn't see Dennis fall asleep again. Soon, the yard was busy. Neville found himself handling the troublesome trucks a lot more than any other engine. The trucks had warmed up to Neville's kind nature and didn't give him any trouble at all. Dennis, on the other hand, slept cozily in the shed, seemingly unaware of how Neville was doing in the yard. At last, his driver decided to break the silence. Come on, Dennis, he called. We have to get some activity in ya. Dennis groaned and headed straight to work. That hour, the station master came with important news. A heavy goods train is to be taken to the new station, he said. You two are to take it there at once. Dennis sighed. He only wanted a rest. Neville looked over at him. Are you all right then, Dennis? He asked kindly. No, well, I mean, yes, I am. Why? Asked Dennis. Must be the weather. All right then, chop. We got a train to carry. The train was very heavy. Indeed. Neville still had no idea that Dennis was reluctant to work. Dennis, however, was thinking of an opportunity to get out of this work. All went well at first, till they came up Gordon's hill. Neville started to strain up the hill, but Dennis wasn't even trying. Oh, my wheels can't take it, he groaned. I can't make it up the hill. Push harder, encouraged his driver. Meanwhile, Neville's driver had noticed something strange. Neville seemed to be leaking steam. Slow down, dear, he called. You're losing steam. We'll have to stop at the next station. They had just reached the top of the hill when Dennis was finally done with it and cut power, drifting to sleep. Whoosh! Suddenly, Neville's safety valve had burst, and he felt the force of the trucks push against him. Whoa! Neville was suddenly out of control. Neville's driver tried to shut off steam, but it was no use. The sudden force had woken Dennis from his sleep. He realized they were going too fast. What's going on? He asked Neville. Help me! Cried Neville. Then Dennis knew what to do. Using his grip, Dennis applied his own brakes. Slowly, he felt the train coming to a crawl. But it wasn't fast enough. Opening his eyes, Neville had found he had slided right next to Daisy. And just what on earth do you think you're playing at? She snapped. Neville couldn't explain, but then Dennis jumped in. I'm so sorry, he cried. This is all my fault. I shouldn't have been lazy enough to make you do my work, Neville. Neville sighed. That's okay, Dennis, he groaned. Soon Harvey came to clear the mess. And as soon as the track was cleared, Dennis took Neville and his train to the works. Dennis looked very ashamed. I'm sorry for slacking off, he muttered. It was really my fault for getting you in that predicament. Oh, it's fine, said Neville sweetly. I know you mean well, and you didn't mean to do it on purpose. And I forgive you for that. You do? Dennis said softly. Of course, Neville said. I know everyone deserves a second chance. Plus, I'm sure Sir Topham Hatt will forgive you sooner or later. Dennis took that into account. He decided this time it was time to stop being lazy and be a really useful engine once and for all.